Hello and welcome to part 3 of the video series of me reviewing and ranking all the Nintendo 64 games. This is part 3, we're going to do the Ds. Every game that begins with D is here, so let's just get started. Dark Rift is a fighting game with such amazing characters such as Aaron. Super exciting, right? Well, it's not very good and the characters are incredibly boring and the gameplay is subpar. The animation is nice and smooth though, which is probably the best thing I can say about this forgettable game, and it will be a D from me. This is Deadly Farts. I mean Arts. I'm sorry, I really had to make that dumb joke. This is another pretty average fighting game, but I feel like it tries to have a little bit more personality than some of the other generic fighting games. It's definitely a bit more colorful, which is nice, but it still doesn't hold my interest for too long. And when I do fight, these stupid freaking pillars in the foreground are covering my character, and I can't see what I'm doing, which is really dumb and poor planning. This game is another D. Oh, thank God it's not another fighting game. Destruction Derby 64 is a port of the 1995 PlayStation 1 game, and this one was released a whopping 4 years later. It's pretty fun, I suppose. You race around small tracks, and your goal is to build up your score by destroying and damaging other vehicles. The frame rate suffers a bit here, but the game is simple fun, especially if you like blowing stuff up, which who doesn't? So it's gonna be a C. Diddy Kong Racing is a game that I have no nostalgia for because I never owned it as a kid. But man, do I wish I did. The graphics are colorful, the controls are fantastic, and the gameplay even rivals Mario Kart 64. I always thought this game was a rip-off of Mario Kart 64 as a kid, but what can I say? I'm dumb. Bonus points for being able to race in a hovercraft and planes. This game is also the first appearance of Conker and Banjo. This game is an easy A. Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life was based on the movie, and it's a free-roaming 3D platformer. There's really nothing particularly special here. You run around, collect stuff, and find the end of the level. Your attack is throwing berries, and it's incredibly weak, and this game doesn't look too bad, but it's incredibly boring, and there's a ton of better games to play, so it's a D. Disney Pixar's Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue is of course based on the movie of the same name, and it's a 3D platformer where you control Buzz Lightyear. It fares a lot better than A Bug's Life as it is way more enjoyable, and exploring Andy's room is super fun and puts you right into the movie. I also like the little touch of when you're in first person mode, when you're aiming your laser and you see Buzz's face in the reflection in the visor. It's such a little touch, but it's really neat. And the graphics are colorful, but they're super muddy, and the frame rate is kind of crappy, but it's still worth a look, especially if you're a Toy Story fan, and it's a C. Disney's Donald Duck Goin' Quackers is essentially a Crash Bandicoot game on the Nintendo 64, but starring Donald Duck, which I really dug this game because of a recent fascination with the Crash Bandicoot games. The gameplay is remarkably similar, and if you are a fan of the Crash games, this is one I think you should definitely try out. For me, it's a B. Disney's Tarzan is a 2D platformer which is pretty rare for the console with 3D polygon graphics, and with very similar gameplay mechanics like Donkey Kong Country. The character animations are very well done and smooth, and the graphics are very well done as well. I did hate, however, how you couldn't defeat enemies by jumping on them, and instead you use fruit to defeat them, but overall this game is still pretty fun. And like I said, it was a 2D platformer on a system that barely had any, so definitely give it a shot. I'd give it a B. Donkey Kong 64 is a game that people keep saying is one of the best platformers on the system, but I just see it as pretty average. I jumped in it just to get some footage for this video, and I was so dang lost I couldn't find one enemy to kill. I definitely want to spend more time with this game, but to me, with the little bit I played of it, it doesn't come close to Banjo-Kazooie or Mario 64. So to me, it's a C. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments below. Doom 64 is an awesome original Doom game that still holds up to this day. The graphics are sharp and this game is still super fun. The only downside to this game is that the graphics are super dark. I turned the brightness all the way up in this game to capture the footage, and it's still super dark. This game is still a must-play for Doom and first-person shooter fans, and it had a remastered re-release on multiple consoles in 2020. So play it, it's a B. Dr. Mario 64 is a version of Dr. Mario that didn't really need to be on this system, but it is. It's a remake of the original Dr. Mario, and it's a puzzle game where you take out these viruses by matching colors of the pills. The main attraction of this version that separates it from other versions is the 4-player versus mode, which makes this a pretty decent party game. For me, it's a C. Oh god, what is happening? I just wanted to play Duck Dodgers starring Daffy Duck, and this is what happened. This is probably not a good sign for this game, then, if it's this glitchy and I'm stuck inside this box or whatever, but hey, that's part of the game, I guess. This game is another 3D platformer for the system, and your goal is to collect atoms to unlock more areas and defeat the bosses to get more areas, you know. Typical 3D platformer stuff. The graphics are colorful but blurry, and the camera is pretty bad. I also found myself struggling with the controls, and it proved difficult to even kill the most basic enemy. You might like this one more if you're a Looney Tune fan, but I'm giving it a D. Ah yes, Dual Heroes. Bunch of cool characters named Kumo, Julie. This guy's name is Ho. Alright, we're gonna be Ho today. We're gonna be Ho in Dual Heroes. Ho is 30, his birthday's May 5th, he's a millionaire, that's his occupation. Ho Industry is where he works. I love Ho. This Ho is a peace-loving millionaire. I love Ho so much. Let's be Ho. Ho it up, Ho. Yeah. Has this joke run its course? I don't know. Dual Heroes is a fighting game with really cool character designs and with a main character named Ho. It's not a good game, but a main character is named Ho. This game plays like garbage, but a main character is named Ho. Have I mentioned that a main character is named Ho? Why isn't this talked about more? It's the greatest name of any character in the history of video games. I want a spin-off called Ho's Adventures. Okay, I'm sorry. Ho got me a little sidetracked. This game sucks, it's a D, but Ho is an A. Duke Nukem 64 is a port of Duke Nukem 3D. It's a legendary first-person shooter, but this version does lack music during gameplay. It does, however, add some polygonal enemies and 4-player split-screen mode. The controls do take some time getting used to, but overall it's a pretty decent experience, and I will give it a C. Duke Nukem 0 Hour is a terrible third-person shooter in the Duke Nukem franchise. The controls are the same as in Duke Nukem 64, but the stuttering frame rate makes it difficult to play. I hated absolutely every second of playing this game. It is really bad. And for me, it's going to be an F.
Oh boy, it's clobbering time.
Well, that's it for the Ds. I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know in the comments what rankings you would agree with and which ones you disagree with. Thank you guys again for watching. Like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't, and have a great day.